It may be early days, but already we're starting to see some of the quality in these minor division players. With most of the season left to play, there's still plenty of time for the unsung heroes to step up and take their shot. Hello, everyone. I'm Metafiction, and we are coming at you today with minor league action on Matchday 3. Should be a very interesting match, especially after the last time out. Some teams looking to put back, put right some not so great results. Others looking to build momentum in the early stages here. Our first match today is going to be Montreal United taking on AS Paris. Of course, Montreal coming off of a 5-2 defeat at the hands of North Shore United will be looking to set that right as soon as possible. As for Paris, they drew 3-3 last time out, hoping to get some points on the board, preferably with a win. And we are underway here in Montreal. It is Paris getting us started, going right to left in the white kits, as here is Tortellini. Very, very early chance there from Tortellini. And this is, of course, a Francophone derby, the French-speaking cities of Montreal and Paris. Here is Gihao with a cross intercepted by Tomato, but Schmidt gets there. Brothers back to Jeremiah. Now, Montreal being forced back slightly, finding another angle of attack, though. Here's Brothers, but it's cut out by Ness. And now Paris coming forward. As I said, a Francophone derby here today. Certainly a very emotional occasion for both these teams, as here is Tomato the second. Passes into Tortellini. Tortellini puts it in the back of the net. And that was a very well-worked chance by Paris. Some very clever dribbling here by Crazy Tomato the second. Fooled Fantabens, got the ball into Tortellini, who was just onside. We'll see again the replay here. Watch the right side of your screen. There is Tortellini just barely timing the run perfectly and found himself in plenty of space. It is Montreal 0, Paris 1, and that is a decisive opening strike by the Parisians. On a derby like this, it is always a matter of fine margins, and that early goal will have done the world of good for Paris's confidence. As for Montreal, they now have an early hole to climb out of. Here now is Schmidt, forward. Here's Hakkinen. Hakkinen tried to find the through ball to Krustis Jr., but it was deflected behind. It'll be a Montreal corner. Can they get an immediate equalizer? Here's Gihao. Crosses in, and it's headed clear back to Gihao. Brothers dribbling into the box. Dispossessed by Schlesy and Tomato the second. Vanderman's there to mop up that chance from Paris. Oh, but they've dispossessed. Here's Wilk. Wilk putting the ball into the back of the net once again, past Lualua in goal. And Paris have jumped out to a commanding early lead here. Barely 10 minutes gone. It is Montreal 0, Paris 2. Wilk played the pass to Tomato to free up his run, and then just on receiving the pass, just drilled it into the top corner. Very clever movement here by the Paris attack. And last season was rough for Montreal, and they certainly don't want a repeat of it. But based on this result, they might be headed. Based on this result and their last result, they might be headed that way at this rate. Oh, that's what a Well, that sort of defies words, doesn't it? Lualua trying to bring the ball out. The back pass from Ken. Lualua dribbling forward. The touch was just too heavy, and Selic absolutely pounced on it. I mean, what more can you say? An incredible instinctual move by Selic to get onto that, force the error out of Lualua, but, well, you can scarcely afford mistakes like that in this league. Lualua will have to try to move on from that mistake, try to shake it off and get on with the rest of the game, as hard as it may be. Because we have seen teams come back from deficits like this, and here is Ken crossing it in toward the back post. Had to clear, though. But Schmidt gets to it. And that was a good shot from Krustis there. And it's like I was saying, any team could very easily come back from a deficit like this, especially in the minor division. Ness now. Back to Tomato. Tomato lets loose a shot, and a good save there by Lualua. Jeremiah now with a corner for Montreal, trying to get one back in what is already an eventful first half. And the header, saved by Urkel, who nearly pushed behind, and the resulting cross goes behind for a goal kick. Montreal now starting to fashion some chances as Ken nicks the ball off of Tortellini there. After going 3 goals down, they finally seem to have woken up, creating some real chances. Hakkinen squared it back to Jeremiah, but the shot was cannoned off a defender. That was a very good chance there, and it just came to nothing. Montreal are, though, starting to get into those positions. Krustis brought down by Wartooth, but the referee says play on. Plays advantage, rather. And it was Jeremiah who sent it over the bar. Krustis Jr. does play on here. Zanetti with the free kick, and it's just over the bar for Paris. Well, it's been a very exciting first half so far. Plenty of chances in either direction. There's the first yellow card of the match from Montreal as Fanta Benz goes in the referee's book. Mano now with the free kick, headed up and falls to Tortellini, who tried a half volley from distance that would have been very spectacular if it had gone in, but over the bar it was. Now Montreal building something. Here's Krustis. Hakkinen. Brothers challenged by Wilk, but sends it back. And all the way back to Lualua in goal. Montreal still showing confidence in their goalkeeper despite the earlier mistake. Always nice to see. Schmidt now finds the ball for Hakkinen. Sent it back to Ken. Ken now coming up the near flank. Pressured by Tortellini, who almost took the ball. Here is Hakkinen. Hakkinen from distance. What a shot! Well, that might inspire a comeback if anything will. Ken manages to get on the end of the ball. Hakkinen puts it onto his left foot and just drills it top corner. An excellent curling shot there. And Montreal have a lifeline right at the tail end of this first half. We have played our 3 minutes of added time, but Montreal have one more chance here. Brothers cuts into the box. Back to Jihao. Just past the post. And what a moment that would have been to get a second back before the half. Still, though, incredible fight back from Montreal there toward the end of that frame. But it is AS Paris who lead us here at the break by a score of 3-1. Certainly the headlines will be focusing on that mistake by Lualua in goal, but Paris have looked very good value for their lead here. Though they now have to be careful that Montreal might take some momentum from that goal toward the end of the half and turn it into a comeback. Manny Calavera and Julian O'Sullivan on for Montreal for this second half. Hakkinen sends the long ball. A little ambitious for Jihao, though. Borat to Hakkinen. Back to Ken. Ken with a long shot, and it forces a save out of Urkel in goal. Will be a corner for Wang Jihao, who sends it into the box. Camavinga looked to get ahead to it. Here is Jihao again. And again, a Paris defender sends it clear. Two-goal leads, of course, apocryphally the most dangerous leads. Paris will need to be on their guard despite having had the better of the match. There is no time for let-up now. As for Montreal, it is there for them if they can prize another goal away. That puts them in a much better position. Here is Zanetti, though, crossing in. Found the head of Wilk there, but Lua there with the safe hands. As we reach the 60-minute mark, Paris holding their lead. Long ball headed down for Jihao. Here's O'Sullivan in a lot of space. Challenged by Camavinga, but O'Sullivan is ruled offside. Would have put it in the back of the net, but it does not stand. And you see there down in the bottom left corner, well, you might not have seen it before it flashed away, but Montreal and Paris level on shots. Well, now Montreal will have had 12 shots, or 13, excuse me, Paris is 11. And Montreal having only one fewer shot on target. Montreal have been creating chances, they just haven't been able to put them away. Although here is Tortellini crossing into Selic. And Selic forces a save out of Lua. It will be a Zanetti corner. It's headed clear. Falls to Wartooth. Tomato fires over. Well, we're only 15 minutes left. Time running out for Montreal to mount a comeback here. Although here they come forward now. Here is Hakkinen in the box. And that is a second for Kimi Hakkinen. And a second for Montreal. And with less than 15 minutes to play, it's game on here in Montreal. Appears to have taken a deflection off of Ness, but the goal will stand for Hakkinen. And that is a big boost for Montreal here in the closing stages. Jihao. Calavera over the top, but couldn't find O'Sullivan. It was a good idea, but it couldn't quite find the feet of O'Sullivan there. Calavera brings it under possession again. Borat sending it long for Hakkinen, who is on a hat trick. Instead crosses it. Looking for someone in the middle. It's not quite there. Montreal recycling possession here. And Brothers is ruled offside for Montreal, killing this attack. Less than 5 minutes to play for Montreal to find an equalizer. It's a throw deep in the attacking half, or third. Jihao into the box for O'Sullivan, but it's sent back by Cinnamon. Calavera over the top for O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan right at the keeper. will be a corner kick for Montreal. We will have 4 minutes of added time after this corner, which will be taken by Ji Hao. It's floated in, falls to Phantomans, and Urkel is there to pick it out of the sky. Can Montreal find something in these closing minutes? It certainly doesn't look like it from where I'm sitting. It's a free kick for Paris from Urkel. Paris content to kill off the last few seconds of this game as Montreal pushing for an opportunity to come away with a point from this. But it doesn't look like it's going to happen as here comes Tomato for Paris to Wilk. Wilk has the beating of Phantomans. Lua pushes it over the bar. This Paris corner might likely be the last action of the game, though. Tomato in no hurry to take this. Does finally send it in, and it's headed over the bar. And despite a brave comeback from Montreal United, it is AS Paris who take the day. Their scoring came early, that third-minute goal from Squidward Tortellini, followed by another solid strike by Dominic Wilk, and then, of course, Alexander Selic with that instinctual goal, pouncing on the mistake by the Montreal goalkeeper. It's a good day for Kimi Häkkinen in Montreal as he scores a brace, but it's just not enough to get a point today. Montreal have now lost another match. Certainly not the start to the season they would have hoped for. But that is the score from our first match of the day. Montreal 2, AS Paris 3. As we move on now to our second match of the day, it will be Cairo City hosting North Shore United. Cairo City leading with that 4-2-4 formation. We've seen Tokyo use it, and it seems that the philosophy has trickled down to the minor division as well. As for North Shore, it's a similar formation, except rather than a second striker, they have taken the opportunity to field a central midfielder in that same longitude, or an attacking midfielder, excuse me. Not much happening through the first 15 minutes. Cairo with the only shot on target thus far is Van Gerritsen. Now Santos up the far wing, back into Van Gerritsen. Sending it along. There is Hayden. And it's just wide of the goal. And now here is a corner for North Shore. It will be Zizou Lopta, who sends it in, headed up, and then headed away by Pleasurement. Knezovic had a shot from range, and it deflects off of the Cairo defender. And it's another corner, this one taken by Snooks. Once again headed back out of the box. Scarpetta now. There is Lopta again, getting past Van Gerritsen and Pleasurement, crossing in. Tato can't quite get the right angle on it. Snooks, though, crossing in now and headed clear again by the defense of Cairo. Some quick passing from Cairo, but Bierman loses out to Del Pirlo. Now Q takes the shot, and it's forced over by Gunleifsen in goal. It'll be Lopta to take this corner as well. Drilled in and sent clear. Knezovic with a cannon of a shot, but it goes over the bar. North Shore having more of the pressure here on goal, but no end product for either team just yet, as here comes Santos. Santos finds Audubon Touchette. Van Gerritsen fires off the post. And that was the best chance so far for Cairo. A shot going off the woodwork. Now here is Del Pirlo. Tato through to Knezovic. Challenged by Laurent, but it goes in. Ivica Knezovic puts North Shore up in the 32nd minute. Some good passing. Del Pirlo to Tato. And then Knezovic just finding enough space to get it around Laurent and past Gunleifson. It is Cairo City 0, North Shore United 1. How will Cairo respond to this? Here is Ibrahimovic on the near wing. Under pressure from Tato. Squares it. And Albuchon Touchette. I apologize, it's a tricky name to say. Fires over for Cairo. There was Bobby. Lopta now with tentacles. Or tentacles, as some of us might have called them once. Now here is Ibrahimovic as Cairo intercept. Pressured by Jero. Ibrahimovic crosses, has people in the center, but it looked like Van Gerritsen headed it just high. And there is another chance. This one again from Van Gerritsen. That one was forced away by Brickwall Jr. Van Gerritsen will now take. And it's headed clear by Scarpetta. Van Gerritsen with some very strong chances here, but can't quite find the answer to Brickwall Jr. in goal yet. Ibrahimovic forward to Hayden and then back. But Tato there to nick the ball off of Ibrahimovic. And now North Shore coming forward again. Here's Knezovic with the long ball. Angerin headed it down, but Tato still has it. Snooks now. Cross in. And Tato very nearly had that in the back of the net, but was offside and it would not count it. Bierman trying to head down for Rupp, but Ricky Bobby gets to it. Lopta now to Oak. Tentacles. Oak. Looks. Lopta. And that's an important goal right before the break for North Shore United. Some very quick passing here. Tentacles found Del Pirlo, who first timed it to Oak. Then Oak to Snooks, to Del Pirlo, to Lopta, to net. Excuse me, Del Pirlo not involved in that last movement at all, but it certainly seemed like he might have been. Such was the smoothness with which North Shore penetrated the Cairo box. And North Shore have opened up a 2-0 lead here very shortly before halftime. That pass not quite on target, and Pleasureman picks up for Cairo. Low pass to get Van Gerritsen. Van Gerritsen's shot blocked by Scarpetta. Pleasureman does get to it eventually, though. And back to Rupp. Cairo looking to get at least one back before the break. Here is Santos. Lays it off for Angerin. Now Ibrahimovic. Albuchon Touchette with an audacious shot from outside the box, but it went over the bar. Now here is Angerin again for Cairo. And another shot from Albuchon Touchette that goes over the woodwork, and that will be the end of the first half here in Cairo. Certainly no shortage of chances from either side, and Cairo have taken plenty of shots, but It is North Shore who hold the advantage at the break, 2-0. Cairo with 10 shots so far, but only 2 on target. Certainly they're going to need to be more clinical with their finishing if they're to stand a chance of getting back in this game. And it is Cairo who start us off left to right in the yellow. Cairo, of course, were one of the several contenders for the minor division title last season, but fell away toward the end of the campaign as Inter London just put too much distance. Although here is Hayden, defended only by Scarpetta and Wall, who puts it behind with a diving save for a corner kick. Van Gerritsen sends a low corner in. Hayden and Van Gerritsen again. This one broken up by Lopta, and now North Shore might counter. Here's Del Pirlo getting past Bierman. Sends it wide to Tato. Tato chased by Ibrahimovic. Gets past him. Bierman, though, cuts out the pass. North Shore retains possession, but only for the moment. Ibrahimovic now. And it's cut back by Snooks. Van Gerritsen trying to cross, but cut out. And now here come North Shore again. It's Tato. Forward to Bobby. Bobby fires from range. And it's put behind by Gunnleifsson. And it will be another corner for North Shore. Is Snooks to take. Back out. Lopta tried a shot from distance, but nothing doing. And it has been a complete performance here from North Shore. Despite trailing in XG, they have had the better quality chances and crucially have the 2 goals that put them in the lead. As here is Lopta. Strong challenge by Santos, but no follow-up, and Lopta retains possession. Headed clear, but still falls to Snooks, who cuts it back to Knezovic. Ricky Bobby! And that might be that here at the Tomb of Doom. Snooks cut the ball inside to Knezovic, who found Bobby first time. And Ricky Bobby, who was in the major division this time last season, you can't give them too much space. Otherwise, that happens. And that is 3-0 to North Shore away from home against Cairo. And here is Del Pirlo trying to make it 4. Santos trying to nick the ball off Spacchiero, but nothing doing. Santos does come forward now. Here's Van Gerritsen. Scarpetta gets a foot in, but it falls to Santos. Challenged by Gero. Shoots, but Gero gets the leg in to block. It was a solid run by Santos, but couldn't quite get the shot off in time. Now here is Santos again. Pressured by Oak on the near wing. Cross in by Santos. And it's Wall who claims it out of the air with authority. And that's been the story with Cairo. They've been creating chances, but nothing threatening enough as of yet. And here comes Hayden. Into Goat. I'm sorry. I kind of had to at that point. Here is Goat now. Bierman forward, and it's Van Gerritsen with a shot from distance, but Wall there to get down to it. And you look at the XG difference between the teams. Cairo City with 2.08 XG compared to 1.54 for North Shore, but it is North Shore who have 3 goals. Well, the anti-XG crowd will tell you that's just not natural, but it's been some excellent finishing from North Shore today as they get another chance here from a corner kick. With less than 5 minutes to play, Snook sends it in, headed into the air. Jarrow couldn't quite get to it. Now Hayden bringing it forward. Finds Santos. And Tentacles gets the foot in. Time winding down here as North Shore prepares for another corner. And it's headed over by Pat Cato. And the referee blows the whistle. And North Shore walk out of Cairo with a 3-0 victory, and a richly deserved one. Certainly had the edge in finishing all day. Ivica Knezovic opening the scoring on 31 minutes, followed by another one by Zizou Lopta. And Cairo could not make their shots count, and ultimately it cost them as they couldn't get enough shots on target. Knezovic there wins player of the match for that opening goal and the assist. Of course, Zizou Lopta and Ricky Bobby, the other scorers for North Shore. So a 3-0 win for North Shore United. Cairo City back to the drawing board after that performance, surely. 2 matches down, 2 to go, as we next visit Seoul as Seoul Mythic take on FC Kapstad. And Seoul will be coming out with a 4-2-3-1 here. Kapstad, meanwhile, with a, well, there's no other word for it, with a Christmas tree. Will it be a festive occasion for Kapstad, or will Seoul steal Christmas? What am I talking about? It's the end of March. Christmas isn't for another 9 months. Oh well. Never mind, eh? Some early bookings for Ljubika Kamenova and Nicholas Inclon. Nothing really of note yet happening. Both teams feeling each other out here in the early stages. There is Joker going into the book as well. Referee taking no prisoners today. Doug. Bailey tried to bring that under control, but couldn't. Here is Conwald, though. Tamime shoots, and it goes wide. By the way, that is Kapstad in the white and Seoul in the dark green here, in case you were confused. I certainly was. Is Doug. Ball passed forward to Cameron Bailey. Through ball to Taka, doesn't quite get there, and Garfield cleans up. Here's Terrence. Bailey Deali, but can't bring it under control. Cameron Bailey, who I said in the draft had some serious flair, as Brooks is ruled offside. I did say in the draft that Cameron Bailey there for Kapstad has the potential to be the most electrifying player SSL has seen in a long time, but early days, don't want to hype the lad up too much. Still has to pay his dues, I suppose. Still, certainly one to watch there. For the moment, though, it is Seoul who come forward. Dello into Paul. Kamanova forward to Chouinard. Crosses in. Paul sends it back for Hawkins. Now Terrence to Deali into Paul off the post. And a dangerous move for Seoul. Kapstad lucky to walk away from that one without conceding. Just a well-worked move there from Seoul. Here is Dello. Now Paul with another chance. And this time von Bismarck is there to catch it. Certainly to take nothing away from Kapstad here, but that was a very dangerous chance from Seoul that just went begging though. As time ticks down toward the end of the first half, that has been the highlight of this first frame. Neither team really having that cutting edge just yet. Seoul with 3 shots on target, Kapstad yet to have one. But this match is finally poised to have some real intrigue about it in the second half. As we await the second half of play to see what adjustments, if any, are being made in the locker rooms during the interval. And in a division as chaotic as the SSL minor division, you want to take any chance you have that is presented to you. And certainly 3 points is there for the taking for both of these teams today. So get us started again. Chouinard crosses, has Paul, but von Bismarck is there. Seoul seem to be having the better chances of the two teams, but dispossessed there. And now Tamima, comes forward. Looks like a Kapstad player is down, and here is Bailey in the box. Challenged by Kamanova, and goes down, and it is a penalty. Well, it will be Bailey to take this penalty for Kapstad. And it's right at the keeper. Pushed aside, no goal. Well, how about that? How quickly the momentum swings in this division. Kamanova now, but dispossessed by Conwald. Tried to shoot from the top angle. It's off the post. Sent clear. Poggio doesn't quite bring into control, though. Inclon's pass, though, cut out by Terrence. Daly trying to dribble forward, but that will be snuffed out. And that was almost a turning point. In some ways, maybe it was a turning point. Well, it remains to be seen. Terrence now. Crossed in, but headed clear. This is exactly why I have to be careful hyping people up, because inevitably something tragic happens immediately afterward. It is, of course, the commentator's curse. As here comes Terrence. Crossing in, and Bailey Deali scoring from a very tight angle. And it was coming, and now it has happened. Seoul with the breakthrough in the second half. Terrence crossed in, Bailey Deali, a very tight header there. Von Bismarck probably could have done better at the near post, but certainly incredible finishing there by Deali to put Seoul up 1-0 in the second half. Terrence forward here at Deali again. Chouinard. But no, Chouinard ruled offside. Excuse me, it was Deali who's ruled offside, I'm told. Chouinard looked like the floodgates had burst open, but that one will come off the board. Here is Deali, though, but dispossessed by So Hot right now. Poggio, though, sends it back out to Chouinard. Cross in. And he finds Danny Paul. And this time they get to keep it. Chuanar here managed to get the ball in a very tight angle. Looked like it was going to Dalo, but Dalo let it run for Paul, who just buried that chance. And Sola burst into life late in this one. They lead 2-0 with just under 15 minutes to play. And here's Kamanova, the throw in near the corner flag. They might be threatening for a third. Cross in. It was near Dello again. Poggio gets ahead to it. Von Bismarck finally plays. Well, it may well be that missed penalty was indeed the turning point in this match. It was the wake-up call Seoul seemingly needed. And they have taken this game by the scruff of its neck. Kapstad now looking to try to fashion a chance to get something back from this game. Here's Taka, but dispossessed strongly. And now a strong challenge by David Doug, and we'll see red for that. And to make matters worse, Jalen Brooks also coming off injured. It is a double whammy for Kapstad here. Oh my goodness. How quickly the turntables. David Doug with that dangerous challenge. And of course the the Kapstad player coming off injured as well. That is just unfortunate. There's some consternation on the bench as they try to determine who's going to take the place of the injured Brooks. And it will be Nachi Bergkamp. As time ticks down, Kapstad now playing with 10 players. Chuanar now. Poggio dispossessed by Joker. To Mime, but cut out by Terrence. Pushed off by Deali. And it must be said, we don't see many red cards here in the SSL. Players generally very disciplined, but for a challenge like that, you just have to know they're seeing red. As Paul shoots past Von Bismarck. Danny Paul with a second, Soul with a third. And they have pounced on the man advantage here. Paul with a strong shot past Von Bismarck. And that should be game over from here. It has gone from bad to worse for Kapstad today. As here is Paul again. Dribbling past so hot right now. It's very close, but Von Bismarck able to scoop it up. Has gone from bad to worse for Kapstad. The missed penalty, the injury, and the red card. A series of unfortunate events here. But there will be no complaints from the Seoul bench for sure. Deali crosses into Paul with the header, and it's over the bar. As time winds down in this one. 4 minutes of added time, but I don't know that it'll be enough for Kapstad to overturn this deficit. Here's Cabral. Gonwald back to so hot right now. Bergkamp in space. It looked like Bergkamp had Taka, but couldn't quite get the pass sorted. Here's Conwald, though. Hawkins, though, dispossesses as Deali bringing the ball forward again for Seoul. Got a little tangled up with Poggio, though, and Kapstad able to dispossess. Deali nicking the ball off to Mime. Sends it into Chuanar. Forced over by Von Bismarck. Poggio sends in the corner, and it's headed over. Poggio in another corner, and this one will probably be the last kick of the game. Headed over again, this time by Terrence. And there goes the whistle. It was a slow start from both teams, but ultimately Seoul managing, after a missed penalty by Cameron Bailey, to wake up and put themselves in the driver's seat on this one. Player of the match goes to Danny Paul with the brace. Bailey Deali, though, opened the scoring on a very tight-angled header. David Doug and Jalen Brooks both forced off the pitch in the same incident. And that will be that. 3-0 Seoul over Kapstad. And now, at last, we come to our final match of the day, and one that I'm certain will be very interesting. We've seen some very exciting soccer all day today. That near comeback in Montreal, the wins by North Shore and now Seoul, and now it will be Inter London hosting Athenai in our final match of the day. The defending minor division champions, Inter London, of course you see there, only one win from 2 matches so far. Not the dominant start they would have hoped for after last season's showcase, but as I said at the top of this program, certainly plenty of soccer left to be played here. Levere will get us kicked off as Inter London start us off, going left to right in the blue and black. King now forward to Schweinsteiger. Schweinsteiger dispossessed by Jeeves. Now Jeeves coming up the left. The pass, though, cut out and falls back to Schweinsteiger. Cutting through the middle. Here's Levere again. Finds Berbatov. Berbatov in a little bit of space. And that is the opening goal in less than a minute by Dimitar Berbatov. Goodness me. What a quick start from Inter London. Schweinsteiger dribbled it through the middle of the pitch. Levere held it up, gave Berbatov time to run into space. And Berbatov absolutely lethal with that shot. Washburn tried to make up the distance, but just couldn't. Couldn't get there in time. And an early sign of intent by Inter London, by the reigning minor division champs and the reigning SSL Cup holders. Schweinsteiger cuts out the pass by Mertz. London coming forward again. Here is King. King dribbling past Juliusson. And Tyson King makes it 2. Well, it's Schweinsteiger again who's the engine on this one. Lays it off to King, who just gets past Juliusson. And Athenai find themselves in a deep hole early on. Nunez now with the corner. It's headed clear by Pulser there. Ball finds King at the edge of the box, but Duke there to hold on to it. And King certainly angling to give London a third there, but Duke had the reflexes to keep it out. King coming forward again, though. Here's Berbatov now. Berbatov in the box, squares, tried to find King, but King overran it. Nunez now. Kanwai. Lever to King again. Now Nunez. Crosses for Lever. But Lever is ruled offside. Well, London are feeling dangerous today. Although here is Fiacra, who crosses in. It's headed clear, though. Now Smallwood, from distance, forces a good save out of Kerrigan. Now another corner for London. This time it's Nunez. Sends it in. Instead clear by Mertz. King now. Forward to Nunez. Nunez fires. It's Berbatov who's put it in the back of the net again. Nunez here getting the ball around Jeeves. Sent in a low cross. Schweinsteiger made a move for it, but it was Berbatov who got to the end of it. And the champions comfortable on their throne here. 3-0 with barely over 15 minutes played. Berbatov now up the far wing. Gets the better of Washburn. Crosses in. And it's headed in by Jeffrey Lever. And they've already got 4. Well, it's gotten ugly very quickly for Athenai here. But what intensity from this Inter-London side. London playing passes among the back. Here's Kanwai, forward to McGurk. Now Schweinsteiger gets it over the top. It looked like Berbatov got a head to it, and it goes over the bar. Well, most of last season's Inter-London team that won the championship, that won the league title and the cup, called up to AC Romana this season. London more or less working with mostly a new core, but certainly picking up where they left off, if this is any indication. Schweinsteiger to McGurk. McGurk puts it over the bar. Inter-London, of course, last season, the first minor division or second division team to win the SSL Cup. A historic achievement by that group of players. Certainly wanting to make sure that isn't a fluke, as Berbatov rounds and shoots, but Duke able to dive to stop it. Blackman had a shot, but misses well wide. The game's starting to settle down after that very quick flurry in the first 20 minutes. Rain has started here in London. But to hear the locals tell it, that's just how they like it here, I'm told. Here is King. Sent clear, but it's the penalty's given. King went down in the box, and will be Berbatov to take, and Berbatov makes no mistake. Berbatov completing a first-half hat trick here with that penalty, and Inter lead 5-0 over Athena. Huga, free kick goes into the wall. It will be a corner for Athenai here. Corner comes in, and it's held by Kerrigan with little issue. As we approach halftime, 3 minutes of stoppage time to be played. King turns, crosses in. It's headed out by Mertz, though it falls to Williams. Williams crossing in. Duke able to pluck it off of the head of King there. Now sending it long. Schweinsteiger. Back to that Hollywood back line that hasn't had much to do today, let's be honest. Conway. Forward to Blackman. And now McGurk. Blackman sends it forward to Nunez. Through ball to Schweinsteiger. Schweinsteiger squaring to King. And that's 6. And it's not even halftime yet. My goodness, this has gone pear-shaped in a hurry for Athena. Schweinsteiger squared it for King, who was in plenty of space. Nobody between him and the ball. Inter London just dominating this match. Here is Schweinsteiger firing from just inside the box, but it's sent clear. London still not giving up this attack, despite being up 6-0. And that will be the end of the first half. And honestly, what more can you say about this performance? I'll try to say a little more. That was 3.5 xG on London's part to about 0.11 on the part of Athenae. A 6-0 lead at the half. Well, you never like to speak in absolutes, but this game seems like it can only go one way from here. Still, Athenae are professionals. They will not give up. Nor would we expect them to, as they do get us started left to right in this second half. London quickly taking possession. Here is LeBert. And London win the free kick. Schweinsteiger dispossessed by Smallwood briefly, but gets it back under control. McGurk forward to Berbatov, and now LeBert. But Mertz with a good challenge. But here is Williams. And that challenge ultimately didn't matter. It fell right to A.J. Williams. And A.J. Williams made them pay for it. LeBert came forward. Mertz got a foot in. But Williams was very much alive to it. And Duke just couldn't get there. And I am rapidly running out of adjectives to describe this performance by Inter London. Herculean, perhaps. There's one. As here is King again. Has LeBert in space. Lays it off to Schweinsteiger. Duke able to get behind that. 60 minutes have been played here in London. But for Athenae, I'm sure they feel like 60 years. Conway gets to the long ball and sends it forward. Some quick passing here by London as it's already back at the feet of Berbatov. Berbatov dribbling into the center. That's forced over by Duke. There will be yet another London corner here. Nunez. And it's headed over by Powdered Toast Man. Now a free kick for Athenae. Hyuga finds Smallwood at the edge of the box. Smallwood shot right into Berbatov, and now London could come forward yet again. Lever dribbling up the far flank, lays it off to Schweinsteiger. Schweinsteiger, though, is offside. And nothing doing from that attack there. Williams, back to powdered toast, man. And now Williams again fighting for it with Washburn. Washburn ultimately successful, but Berbatov gets there. Crosses in, and it's Tyson King. And Inter London do not have an off button here. They are now up 8-0 on Athenai. Berbatov was the only one there to it. The low cross into King, and it's academic in there. As time ticks on, London refusing to take their foot off the gas, even though the match is well won. Here is Berbatov, and there's another one for Dimitar Berbatov, and that's 9 for Inter London. And at the risk of sounding a little flippant, is there a mercy rule in soccer? Because if there is, we might be about to hit it. "10 minutes remain." Athenai surely just wanting this to be over now. Certainly their fans do, I would wager. Here is King, released on a header. Will it be 10 for London? Squares it to Berbatov. Duke pushes it over. Nunez crosses in. Looked for Schweinsteiger, couldn't get there. Lost to King. King! It's into a mess of bodies and ultimately sent clear. Two minutes of added time to play. 2 more minutes of suffering for Athenai. How do you and honestly, I don't think there's any team that could have stood up to London in the form they're in today. Full credit to Athenai as Schweinsteiger fires, but Duke saves it. Full credit to Athenai for sticking it out for the full 90, but I don't think any team would have stood a chance against London in this form today. They are, although it's a bad back pass by Conway, and Martinez is on it. Tried to fire in, but Nunez was there to block it. Smallwood does mop up. That was almost a chance for Athenai to break this clean sheet of Inter London, at least a moral victory, but it was not to be. Schweinsteiger, as time runs out on this absolute shellacking by Inter London. What more is there to say after a performance like that? The scoreboard really says it all, I think. Hat tricks by Dimitar Berbatov and Tyson King, with added goal contributions from Jeffrey Lever and AJ Williams. It is King, though, who gets player of the match, somewhat surprisingly, as Berbatov had 4 goals and 2 assists. But I don't think they'll be too picky, given the result. And as for Athenai, well, where do you go after a result like this? We'll have to see next match day. But in the meantime, that is it for us today on match day 3. We've seen some very exciting football all across the league. And there's still plenty more SSL action here in the minor division this season. Can't wait to see the rest of it. Until next time, this has been Metafiction. Take care, everyone.